Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. It is day 9 of NaNoWriMo. That means it is time once again for Tarot Tuesday. I talked to you a little bit about a particular tarot deck last week. This week I'm going to talk to you about some of these tarot inspired decks. You get people that are putting together now these decks that are most frequently called oracle decks. You'll also hear them called inspiration decks, meditation decks. I even have a Zen deck. So there are all kinds of ways to go with that. It's based on a lot of the same kinds of practices you can do with the tarot you can do with these newer decks. I think people have moved away from the standard tarot format because there's the sense that between the major arcana and the minor arcana, oh, the minor arcana cards are boring. They're not as much fun to play with. The major arcana cards are a lot more fun. Yet if you really understand the tarot, those interactions are fascinating. And I will do more with that on a different Tarot Tuesday. For today, I do want to say the folks that have really taken off with these alternative decks are often artists who have done just really amazing work. Each card is something singular in a really good oracle deck. So to that end, I'm going to show you a card draw that you can do with either a standard tarot deck or with one of the newer decks. And I am going to use Alana Fairchild's Divine Circus Oracle. Yep, Jennifer Lee Rossman, if you're watching. It was Jack Jetstar that got me thinking about this deck again. Indeed, I think the characters that populate Rossman's novel would be very much at home in this particular deck. This is a beautiful circus-themed deck. So what I'm going to do today is pull 3 cards. I'm going to talk a little before I do that about what reading tarot or telling tarot or pulling tarot is really all about, in my understanding. And I've been doing this for 25 years, sometimes more regularly than others. But for me, when I'm pulling, particularly when I'm pulling multiple cards, what's important is not just each individual card, but then the way the cards come together and speak to each other, okay? I've already done the card pull so that I could look at some various resources and so that I could look in Fairchild's book itself, because see, there's a nifty guidebook that comes. And I will put information about the Circus Oracle in the notes for today. But it's not just about the individual cards. It's about how the cards speak to each other. In traditional tarot spreads, the position of the cards, whether or not the cards are right side up or upside down, those all have significance in how the cards talk to each other. In a less formal reading like this, where I'm just pulling 3 cards, those relationships are a little more flexible, a little more fluid. And I think you're going to see when you see these cards that I pulled that there are some relationships that immediately kind of jump out at you. But also, standard understandings of a 3-card pull, the 3 cards can represent past, present, and future. They can represent, in Freudian psychotherapy, the id, the ego, and the superego. In a little less fraught terms, kind of what's underneath, what's at the surface, and what's still in the air. So, you know, there may also be other kinds of trios of things that suggest themselves when you do an individual card pull. And now I'm going to get on with it because I really want to keep these to about 5 minutes. So here is the first card, Go Fish. The second, the White Duchess. And the third, the Supernova. Aren't these gorgeous? Okay. So these three cards, to my mind, the Go Fish was the first pull, then the White Duchess, then the Supernova, and I pulled from the top, middle, and bottom of the deck to get them. Interestingly, two of them, Go Fish and Supernova, are cards 8 and 9 of the Oracle. The White Duchess is further in, it's card 15. But according to Fairchild, Go Fish is about something that's been submerged that has come to the surface. The White Duchess is a card of protection, and Supernova is a card that is similar to Go Fish, except that the Supernova card is specifically about the release of creative power from the depths of the soul. So, gee, what do you suppose during NaNoWriMo you might be able to draw from a reading like this? All kinds of possibilities suggest themselves to me. There might be some that suggest themselves to you too. Feel free to respond in comments. And please, by all means, I hope this gives you something to think about. And, you know, how it pertains to you and your NaNoWriMo experience, or how it pertains to the characters within the work that you're doing. Have fun, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.